Well, the holidays are upon us. And on this special edition of Irving Living, we've got all kinds of tips for making this the best holiday season ever.
From handmade gift ideas to fun decorating tips to ways to beat that holiday stress, this is your Irving Living guide to making your holiday season merry and bright.
Well, let's get started.
Wow, I have to say Christmas is my favorite. And it isn't just the gifts like you might expect. The family and the excitement and the looks on children's faces and all the glowing lights and decorations. I just love that festive feel.
Well, I'd have to say Christmas, and the number one reason I have for this is got to be Mom. My mother has a different Christmas bedspread with shams in every room, shower curtains, toilet paper holders.
I think it'll have to be Thanksgiving, mostly just because of all the food and because it's not so stressful.
Definitely Thanksgiving. I like to eat all day, visit with everybody. It's easy for me to say Thanksgiving. I love to be able to sit down with my family and eat and watch football, of course.
It would be Christmas. If the birth of our Savior had not happened, there would be no need for the rest of the holidays. People are joyous. They seem to be giving out. They seem to be caring more. If we could expand it to the other 364 days a year, I think it would be a wonderful world.
It would probably have to be Thanksgiving. Family comes over, my wife cooks a big meal for everybody, and when we get all the family together and the kids, it's a special time.
I guess I kind of prefer Thanksgiving. It's a time that I can get the family together a little bit, and it's just a more relaxed holiday to me, but a time we can get the whole family together.
Well, I think I'd have to choose Thanksgiving because I love to give thanks especially to my family and my parents, and it's just a time that the family all gets together, has a nice feast.
You always get invited over the holidays to that potluck that you want to take something that's just fabulous, but you don't have a fabulous amount of time to make it fabulous.
Well, I'm going to show you how to make a really simple cheese ball that we're going to turn into a wreath. I've already started this cheese ball. This is a cheese ball that has pineapple and bell pepper and some green onions and a few other secret ingredients that we can't mention. I will say that this is a recipe that we've had in my family since I was a very young girl. And I'm just going to add a little bit of green into this cheese ball. You could do a sun-dried tomato and mint cheese ball. You could have a pesto cheese ball. We're also going to mix in some pecans, and I put on gloves to do this part because it's a little bit messy. But we're just going to mix this up really, really, really good, and we're going to form a wreath on this plate. And we're going to do this by just kind of putting some little blotches of the cheese ball around, and then we'll shape it up. We're going to kind of make a little starter wreath here. Make the cheese part with all the ingredients the day before. Let it sit in your refrigerator overnight. The flavors really blend together. If you make it and then serve it within an hour, the flavors are just not there. It really needs that time.
Now, can you make like a batch and take from it, like maybe make a batch on Monday, and if you have 2 or 3 parties to go to?
Oh, absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
Yes, this is going to hold up in your refrigerator perfectly. I always say it tastes way, way, way better the second day. What I like to do is we can smooth out this top a little bit, and I create a holly look with mint and roasted red peppers. And for a little tidbit of information, what do you think pimentos are?
I did not know that.
Yes, a lot of people think that pimentos grow on a tree somewhere.
Never knew that.
Did not either. That is
and I do love pimento cheese, and now I know why.
But look how easy that is.
It's very easy. You can use sun-dried tomatoes. Mint and sun-dried tomatoes are a fabulous combination. We put them together. The mint smells very wonderful and fresh. And yes, that's the part that I would take on my cracker and eat.
Yes. And such a great thing for the holidays just to have that aroma in your kitchen.
We can do a bow down here at the bottom.
So cute.
So
look
isn't this gorgeous?
Oh, it is.
Beautiful. And as gorgeous as it looks, believe me, it tastes just as good.
I'm sure it does.
Let's dig in. It's a turkey that's totally slathered in butter and fresh herbs that I cook, not for Thanksgiving to eat, but for the day after Thanksgiving. I take the white meat turkey, mix it with rotel, roll it up in flour tortillas, deep fry it, and dip it in homemade chili con queso.
I think it's going to be Chinese chews. My mom worked for LBJ in the radio station years and years ago, right out of college. She got this recipe, and I have no idea what's Chinese about it, but it's dates and just deliciousness.
My grandma passed away about 10 years ago, and with her passed away her special divinity. We thought it would never be Christmas again, but my mama can make the best pecan pie, and that has kind of replaced in this generation what divinity was, my mama's pecan pie is now. Mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes. I think of them as dessert.
Pumpkin pie. My daddy loved pumpkin pie. I recently just lost him, but pumpkin pie has got to be it.
It's the green bean casserole that my wife makes. I'm a big fan of a green bean casserole, and it's very simple to make, but Thanksgiving wouldn't be what it is without it.
Dressing. Yeah, dressing, go with the turkey. Yeah, it's got to have the dressing. It's got to be cornbread dressing, yeah.
Might eat deviled eggs. I have to have my deviled eggs.
It's funny that you ask it that way because my in-laws don't do mashed potatoes. And you wouldn't think of such a thing as being what kind of defines your holidays, but you've got to have mashed potatoes and gravy. Mashed potatoes with gravy, not just stuffing. I'm from the north.
Give us some ideas and tips for all those parties and receptions and outings that we're going to be away from our home and at the mercy of all those delicious things to eat and drink.
Boy, it's delicious and it's tempting. The buffet looks great.
Oh, yes.
But we want to keep our figures in mind, keep our heart health in mind. So prior to going to any holiday event, it's best not to go on an empty stomach. Have a full glass of water, maybe a snack of a fresh fruit or a vegetable before you go so you're not ravenous. And then as you're at the party, I always suggest to keep your dominant hand occupied with a drink. Preferably water, seltzer water, something along that line. So your dominant hand is occupied, it's not going to every beautiful thing on the table. And then you're eating with your non-dominant hand, it's not going to be quite as coordinated, so you tend not to eat as much. Secondly, I would definitely move away from the table. Get your plate and you don't want it piled up. You want it sparse, maybe one of everything, maybe not everything, but one of the things that are offered. And then step away from the table for your conversations. So again, you're less likely to continue to be reaching for the snack.
So we love to bake in our family. What are some ways to kind of compromise and work with those old traditional recipes that we can kind of update into a new, healthier way? What are some of your thoughts on that?
That's a great question, Robbie. One of my favorite things to do is when a baked recipe calls for oil, if it's a cup of oil, you can replace that moisture with half that value of applesauce. So a cup of oil becomes a half a cup of oil and a half a cup of unsweetened applesauce, and you still get the great moisture and texture without the added fat that oil provides. So that's great for pumpkin breads and for cookies and things of that nature. Another way to keep heart health in mind, keep fiber in mind, is when there's flour, and there's always flour, rather than the bleached sifted white baking flour, you can substitute again half that amount. So if it's 3 cups of flour for chocolate chip cookies, you can do half that value in whole wheat flour and then half of the regular flour, and you're adding some fiber and some texture, and it's not just white flour that's going to hit your body as sugar.
Oh wow, that is a
So those are easy tips. Another one is eggs. So when a recipe calls for an egg or 2 eggs, if you do twice the number of egg whites, take out those yolks, you're reducing cholesterol, you're reducing saturated fat, you're reducing the total number of calories, but you're not missing the texture and the moisture that the eggs provide.
Mike Harris has joined us to give us some definite tips on how to stay safe during the holidays.
I brought some things up here so we could talk about the causes of fires. Number one cause of fires has been cooking. Like the frying pan that I've got in front of you, the one that's burned here, That one lady actually, it's not supposed to be see-through. I did the investigation on this, and the lady that had this, she put on some oil to cook some French fries and then decided to go out to eat.
What's the proper way to put out a grease fire?
Put it out on the stovetop. Do not move it. So you put it out on the stovetop, and the best way is to use a lid.
Okay.
Now what you want to do is not put the lid straight down, because that allows the fire to come around the edge and it can burn your arm or set your clothes on fire. But you use the shield that between you and the fire, and you put it on the edge of the pan closest to you and slide it across. And once you put the lid on it, don't peek. Because you let fresh air back into it, it'll start back up again.
All right.
Whenever you're cooking on the stovetop, you should have a lid handy. Just in case.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a lid, anything bigger than the pan that won't burn, a cookie sheet, a pizza pan, a wet towel, they do need to be wet. The dry ones tend to burn.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a chemical that you can use that's in the kitchen. It's a white powder. Little box of Arm & Hammer, the sodium bicarbonate, baking soda.
Baking soda.
This is actually the same chemical they put in fire extinguishers.
Really?
Right.
Did not know that either.
When you sprinkle it on top of, especially flaming grease, it foams up and it shuts off the oxygen supply. Flour will actually explode. So we want to stay away from that.
When people get ready for the holidays, they start plugging things in because you want the decorations. What's the matter with this picture right here?
Well, probably anybody that looks at this is going to go, oh yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah.
This has actually been around here longer than me. This is picked up by the original fire marshal here in the city of Irving, Pistol Mitchell. He went into a business and found 15 items plugged into one outlet.
Oh my goodness.
This is what we call an overload. They are designed for specific use, though. You plug them in, it allows you to plug 4 things in. If you want to run everything at the same time, you need a power tap. Kind of like this one. Is basically this with an on and off switch.
Oh wow.
See, everybody looks at these and they think computers. And they think, well, yeah, it's protected. Safe for the computer.
Right.
But the reason you can buy these cheap is because there's no protection built into it. To make sure it's protected, it needs to have a circuit breaker, which means it's going to have a little push button on the side, or it's going to have the word reset next to the on and off switch. There's one step up from this, which is called a surge protector. That protects your appliances from electricity being pushed into the house, basically.
So if you get
like a lightning strike. Okay.
So one of the holidays that we're going to be celebrating pretty quickly is Christmas, of course.
First off, if you're going to put lights outside, make sure that they're listed to be outside. They're outdoor lights, not inside lights used outdoors. Make sure that the wiring, when you get it out, that there's no nicks, cuts, or abrasions, no exposed wires, shock hazard, or something that could short out and cause a fire. But when you're installing them, don't use a staple gun.
Okay, that to me seems like a very obvious thing.
Well, the thing is even if you're really careful and every one of these staples goes across the wire and it doesn't go through the wire, that's the first danger.
Yeah.
Just the impact of this gun breaks the wires inside that.
And this is the thing that we're not thinking about.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Because if it's broken wire, it's going to overload at that point because there's not enough conductors.
Yeah.
So we have a problem. So use the little plastic hangers.
I know that a lot of people love to have a live Christmas tree.
Okay, you need to change the water in it every day because that tree will suck up a lot of water. First thing you do when you bring it in is put a fresh cut on it because the sap will seal that off at the lot. So fresh cut on the bottom of the tree, good secure stand, and then put water in it and keep water in it every day.
Okay, so what are some tips?
We grab the branch real loose in our hand and just pull the branch through your hand. If you come off with needles in your hand, it's too dry. Now, as far as you were talking about disposal, City of Irving recycles the trees. You gotta do set them out.
Okay, and let's say exactly why we don't want those trees in the fireplace.
Because they burn like gasoline. We had a guy one time that could not find something to cut a log to put in his fireplace. So he put a 6-foot log and he stuck one end of it in and thought he could push it in as it burned, and it didn't realize it would burn out into the room. Yes, job security.
Yeah, that is certainly job security. Mike, thanks so much. Great tips, and I am even going to be more careful now on the rare occasions that I venture into my kitchen.
We do talk a lot of people into going out to eat.
Just opened my company about a year ago.
Very neat.
Definitely, and I got started actually at a grocery store doing flowers at Albertsons. Had a wonderful teacher teach me how to do it, and been doing it ever since.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see you do this, so let's get started.
You want to start with your base, and so we're going to start with the greenery.
This is really pretty.
It's very inexpensive and easy to do.
So I'm just going to grab a piece.
Definitely, grab a piece. Right. You want to cut it in an angle.
Okay. A little bit of a challenge, folks. Make this work. Do you have something else?
Yeah, let's try these scissors. They're a little bit more industrial. Use some red. I got some of this red also cut out off of my bushes out front once again.
Well, I love the way that that's shaping up. So now what are we going to add?
Okay, we're going to start off with our big flowers.
Oh, okay.
You want to do one big flower on either side and one in the front so you have your focal point. I taped off the foam to hold the foam in place and also to help study the flowers a little bit more.
Oh, okay, that's smart.
What you'll do is you place it up top and up to the side and have it facing out towards the sides because you're wanting them to face the sides. You want to cut it down low.
Oh, okay. All right, this is an industrial cut, folks. Whoa, there we go.
Something we'll do, because it is very limp, is I brought some wire with me. We're just going to wire it starting right at the head of the flower. You just stick the wire up into the head and wrap it around. And stick it right here up front. Now we're going to use some green carnations. What I like about these is they're light green, so they're going to accent the dark green leaves we have and also bring out the red tone. And we're just going to keep them long to start. We want our focal point to stay at the red flower. This is another accent flower because it is so big. And we're going to accent it with another one. So we're going to do 2 of these. We're going to keep them long. So what we'll do is just take them. I'll do this side. And stick them right down here on the bottom so they're hanging out on the sides.
Oh, how pretty. If I do want to go with the shortcut, and that is pick up the telephone and say, hey, Lucas, I'm ruining my my flowers here. So I can call you and say I need a floral centerpiece for Christmas or for Thanksgiving?
Definitely. Just give me a call. My number is 469-226-1371. That is my cell phone, so I have it on me at all times. So just give me a call. I need about a day's notice.
Well, I'm going to keep tinkering with this because I have a feeling that I'm really going to like this.
Definitely.
At the end of the day. Because this is really pretty and it's a lot of fun. You're right.
Oh, it is.
Wow. A bicycle, I think, because it gave you transportation. You could go more places with a bicycle. I just remember that being a really big deal when I got a bicycle.
I'm remembering receiving ice skates. I loved my ice skates. I was trying to be Dorothy Hamill, which didn't work out so well. I am not that coordinated or graceful.
The best gift would probably be my kids, honestly.
A special Barbie townhouse. My dad actually made one for me out of wood, and it was so darling. It was a 3-story townhouse for my Barbies. I think back on the time that he put into that and the care and the love, and I think, okay, now that really is a special gift.
It would have been a bracelet that my sister-in-law allowed me to buy off of a Handmade store site. Hand done in silver, and it's just lovely, and I still treasure it.
It was from actually my stepmom. I'm a big, huge Glee fan. She bought me all this Glee stuff. And that's been like the best present I've got is the whole season 1 and 2 of Glee.
I would have to say the best gift is having Kiana, my daughter, and give her a fabulous Christmas. It's just the whole Christmas experience with her.
It was the year I got my Barbie doll. My mother and grandmother had sewn a whole bunch of clothes and sewed them onto a piece of poster board along with a Barbie case that I later found out my dad fought over to get for me.
Every single year, each of us got a baby doll. She had her little hand held out with a little slit in her hand, and you'd stick like puppets, and you would stick it in there, and they would talk. I think I played with that baby doll, and I stuck those popsicle things in her hand a million times to where my parents were just probably wanting to throw that baby that they bought me away.
Sean Mullen has been responsible at City Hall for some of the beautiful holiday decorations over the year. And Sean, I love your tip about leaving your floral arrangements or switching out your floral arrangements instead of dumping out a vase.
Right. If you have a specific vase that maybe it was Aunt Edna's or you just love it, but it doesn't seem, it's not Christmas, it's not Hanukkah, it doesn't have anything on it, no worries whatsoever. I love poppies, and so this was my summer, and summer's over. So I just take this out, and if I want it to pop, now it's going to pop. And any of this is available. This was, gosh, maybe 20 years ago I bought this. And if you're wanting to keep it out for winter, ice type, little berries,
That is really neat.
The final tip I'd like to give is that centerpiece that you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on, but you like to make it pop, and people would go, ooh. But one of the easiest tips I've come across is a container, one like this, casserole dish, and you just take the
colors and different textures. I like that.
Yes, the textures is very important because if you don't have enough textures and eye movement, it's just bleh, it's just boring. So
now this is turning into something special.
And if you're really concerned, you can turn them down. If you're not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can hide them or not. It doesn't matter to me.
That's lovely. And tell me about this piece underneath, because this gives it some additional poof and texture too.
Yes, it's meant to be a tablecloth, but if you just puddle something under, if you want to, this is all it takes. And you can have the beading. You know, I see the beads, the garland beads.
Yeah, those are nice.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And just choose your colors, choose what you need to do.
Okay.
And you can have some picks coming out the side.
Okay, I like that.
And you're ready to go.
Wow. He is always a sports fan. So if he gets a jersey or an autograph, picture or card, he is just gleaming.
Probably would be all the shopping for everybody else. And she does get excited about getting gifts, but not near as much as what she's going to get her cousin, or what she's going to get Aunt Bobby, or what she's going to get her grandma.
Caitlin always loved stockings. It doesn't matter what's in the stocking, it was always the fun of finding all the little trinkets and things that I would pick up special for her.
He has been a gamer since the day he was born, and when he was probably 3, whatever the little latest and greatest, it was square, it was a cube, and that's what he wanted, and we got it for him, and he thought he was the hottest kid on the street. She would probably recall getting the My Twin doll, and it looked just like her, and she got the matching clothes, so her doll and her were dressed alike, and they both had the same haircut and the same eyes, and it was really fun.
My father worked with wood. He's an aircraft mechanic, but he liked messing with wood. And he made her a rocking horse that's probably close to 3 feet tall and was very elaborate, had a saddle on it and everything else. And I think that's probably, I'm going to say that's her best Christmas gift.
We're a full-line arts and crafts supply store here in Irving. We're locally owned and operated. We have beading and scrapbooking and all sorts of ideas and crafts for you to do by yourself or with your kids.
And it looks like you brought some great things that we can make. Tell me about this. Is this a countdown calendar?
That's a countdown calendar. It's simply made just with paper and ribbon and a little bit of glue and tape, and that's it. Put a surprise inside each one. And they are so simple to make. So this is how we do it. The piece of paper is 6 by 4, and we're using terrifically tacky tape today. Taping it like this and put it inside. And we're gonna tape this side down like this.
Oh my goodness.
And this side down like this. And then you have it. Now I recommend that you put your numbers on first before you do that so they don't pop off.
Oh, that is so easy and so fun.
This is a canvas star that can be used as a decoration. It can be used as a gift. The canvas stars, we just started with this. They're stitched, but they're double layered, so we ripped the stitching open and we stamped it. These stamps are from Deadbeat Design. He's out of Salado. He makes wonderful Texas stamps that we carry in the store. Stuffed it, stitched it up.
Did you just hot glue those on?
No, I stitched them on.
Oh boy.
Which is fairly simple today. We can show you how to do that.
Okay.
We do have
classes.
classes.
I love about Googly Eyes, the classes. Tell us about your classes.
We'll have this class and of course the countdown calendar class. We have card making classes. We have crops, beading, knitting, crochet.
You guys are a total lifesaver to Irving.
Tell me about some of the things that you've seen lately that you want to just make people aware of to prevent bad things happening during the holidays.
In today's society, we have computers and internet, and which is great and wonderful. A lot of people buy their goods online, either shipping them to their house, to their residence, or as a gift, shipping it to someone else. When a package is being delivered by your courier, FedEx, UPS, whatever, a lot of times so they'll run up to your door, throw the package down, ring the doorbell, and if nobody arrives, they'll leave the package on the front door, and usually put a little sticky note on the front door that says, hey, no one was here, and we left your package on the front door. That's a criminal's gift right there, because they drive down the street and literally see boxes on the front porch, and it takes just a few minutes for them to get out of their vehicle, go up there, get the package, and leave the scene. I recommend people to do a signature required for delivery. If they knock on the door, no one's there, they will try to reattempt the next day to deliver the item. I'd also let you know that the item is not going to be taken from your door.
I was fairly proud of this moment in my civic life. I'd gone to lunch with a dear friend last December. When I came back, my car had a little blue card on it that said that I'd passed the inspection. What's that all about?
Those are called blue BMV cards, which BMV is burglary of a motor vehicle cards. And those are what my Citizens on Patrol hand out during peak season holiday times.
Right.
And they'll average about 1,500 to 2,000 cards a month. And what it is, it's just a simple card that says that you passed or failed the inspection. And what they're looking for is anything inside the car that's in plain view that can be taken by a would-be burglar. And it takes just a few minutes for them to pop the window or pop the door, get inside, and leave the area.
Every time I got out of the car, again, it's like, well, if I'm going to get inspected, I'm going to make sure
and
that I do
that's what
this.
the whole goal to that program is. And we've been doing that for a while now, and we hit it hard and heavy, especially around the holiday time when crime usually increases because of the season.
What would you say are your top 3 tips for people when they're out shopping? What do they need to be aware of to prevent the bad guys from doing what they want to do? The
first thing I would say is when you're shopping, a lot of people go store to store to hit those sales. Make sure you put the presents in the trunk, under the seat, depending on what you have, and make it fit in the glove compartment. But we don't want anything to be in plain view. If they see something that they want, it increases your chances of being a victim of a crime.
Women tend to be the ones that are out shopping, and sometimes they're out shopping late. Any particular advice you want to give to the ladies when they're out shopping in the evenings?
Yes, ma'am. Make sure that when you're going to and from the car, you park in a well-lit area. Make sure you can see your surroundings. And if you feel uncomfortable walking to your car, a lot of these stores have on-site security. Ask one of the security guards, hey, can you walk me to the car? It's just an extra security feature. They don't mind doing that. In addition to that is we see a lot of females that put their purses in the basket, which is fine. But when they push the cart, when they get distracted with other things going on, a lot of times people would-be criminals will take the purse out of the cart. So just be mindful of that and don't forget about that.
Yeah, don't forget the purse. The purse is an important thing.
Yeah, as a family, we always went to church together and then would have a meal of some sort.
Honestly, it's going to my mom's because it's like going to Santa's workshop.
It's church. Going to services on Christmas Eve.
We start Christmas December 1st, and we have a little Advent box that every day from December 1st to December 25th, they get to pull out the box and get a little surprise out of it. When I was growing up, our stockings would be full of treats and fun things, and we would always open them on Christmas Eve. If I wanted to continue that, since I had that growing up, we've all decided that we're gonna fill each other's stockings. I love Christmas morning, getting our stockings, and we each take turn pulling one thing out at a time and sharing what we got.
I remember my mother, her making the stocking, always an apple, an orange, a banana, $1, candy bars, all sorts of mixed nuts.
Every year for the past, I'd probably say 8 years now, I guess this would be year number 9, we always go out looking at Christmas lights. The kids love it, you know, we roll the windows down, there's Christmas music going on, and it's part of tradition that we've had for many years and hopefully many years to come.
The holidays are all about spending time with my family. My family is my #1 thing.
It's family. I mean, it's not enjoyable unless you have everybody there, because everybody gets to share with what their feelings are and how things are going with them, and it's just more enjoyable.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this special edition of Irving Living. I am so ready for the holidays.
Me too.
We want to thank our local merchants for their wonderful tips.
And we want to say a big thank you to City of Irving staff for sharing their expertise on how to keep your holidays healthy, safe, and full of holiday cheer.
So happy holidays.
And see you again next time on Irving Living.
You are not funny.
Hey, Donna.
You're still rolling.
Are we cold enough? Because I'm getting hot.
I know. I tell you what, I'm like, about to break a sweat over here.
It was a